right, good evening. This is the Rutland Town Planning Commission, and it's the 19th of December, 2019. Thank you all for showing up. Let's start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. If you haven't signed in, it's good for our minutes, handy for our minutes to have everyone's name. So if you haven't, please take a chance before you leave to put your name on the list there. So we'll start our meeting tonight with the hearing on the minor subdivision, Robshan Place. And I take it everyone out there is here on that topic. All right. Okay. And so let's, Rob, why don't we start with just, if you would give us an overview and probably include the boundary line adjustment too. It's not, we didn't have to have a hearing per se on that, but that's all part and parcel, if you will.
Yes.
Of the system.
So the overview of the project is that there is the property that was owned by Patricia Young, actually by Kip Young before Patricia. When he passed, it went to Ethel, and then it went to Patricia as the heir. She has, and actually I took a page from your book last meeting, and I've got a kind of all sorts of colors here that may make it easier if I could come over here. So what we've got is this entire parcel here, where it's the yellow and the blue, is what we were talking about. There is this was a parcel which was already owned by Patricia Young. And this was a boundary adjustment so that this parcel just joined on. This was part of Kip Young's. Okay, that parcel joined in. And then what we've done is we're applying to have this as parcel A, which would be in the yellow, and it runs here. And then this is parcel B, and that's owned by Robert Walker Jr. Robshan Drive is where the access comes through. There is laid out here a right-of-way that's going across this portion parcel, northern portion of her parcel, Pat's parcel. It goes down here. There's also running across Robert Walker Jr.'s, there is a right-of-way that runs through here. And so what we were looking to do was to divide this up with the town's blessing into parcel A and parcel B. So Patricia would own this, and she does own this, and then Robert Walker Jr. would own that.
So this all being owned?
Actually, no, this is pre-existing. It was just a boundary line agreement here. This was part of what Kip had, and there's a boundary line adjustment here, so that just basically belonged on to her pre-existing that she owned before any of this. This, she owned by herself. And then this portion of the parcel came on to Kip's estate. You get a boundary line adjustment to this building by one parcel, that's her primary residence. And then took the balance as your parcel A, which she owns here, and then Robert owns the parcel B. Here's Robshan. Yes. You need Julie's with us, I see it, sorry about that.
That's where you go in. And so
No, this is nothing, this is the primary residence, and Pat's not doing anything to that at all. There's a plan to sell this to persons who are looking to, they're retired people, they want to buy that property as their primary residence, they have horses and whatnot. That's what they want.
That's what's back there.
Yeah, that's what they want.
Back there.
just a little bit. Last question. Rob,
Yes.
when you make your presentation, could you stand here?
So I apologize.
No, I have a hearing loss, and we don't have audio with this video.
Yes. So with the overview, as I just did, as explained to these folks, that with boundary line adjustment, Pat's property now, that is her primary residence, has just increased by that acreage. That's one parcel. What we have in the second, in the yellow highlighted, is the parcel A as delineated on the survey that Ray Page did. And then parcel B is the parcel of Robert Walker Jr. The plan for the property, the parcel where the boundary line adjustment was granted, that is going to remain as Pat's primary residence, Patricia Walker's primary residence. The parcel A, we are intending to sell that to a couple. There's a purchase and sale agreement in effect. And they are going to use that as their primary residence. They have horses, and so it is what they are looking to do, is to live there, have their horses there. There is also, at the present time, we are going before the state of Vermont to get a boundary line adjustment through the state of Vermont as well. So that is being done as we speak. Ray Page is working with the David Swift and Eli Irwin, the regional engineer at District 1, in order to go through that particular process.
Why is that necessary?
Because the boundary line adjustment, if you have more than 2% added to a property or subtracted from a property, there's not an automatic exemption. In this particular case, there are septic systems there. There's been test pits done. So what we're doing is going through a straight subdivision process along with the boundary line adjustment with the Environmental Commission, so that the buyers, when they do ultimately purchase this, they will have the state permits necessary, as well as hopefully the town permit.
So you understand that anything we do will be contingent on you getting those permits and notifying us?
Yes, yes.
Nothing to have to remind you.
Well, I'd like to be reminded as often as possible, Norm, thank you.
Okay, any more comments or questions from you folks, the
I
butters?
What is your last name?
I'm sorry, McClellan, Rob McClellan.
That's your.
All right.
It's been a while.
Good to see you. Age is over.
Actually, did well. Yeah, my name's Ed Square, and I border that property all along the east side, and I have no problems with the subdivision. You know, they've been great neighbors, they're working well with it. But I do have a question in here. If you can answer it for me, I would greatly appreciate it. I would like you to read 18 out, and maybe I have some questions on that. And after that, I'm done. You know, and maybe I'm a little there are a couple of words there that I'm questioning, and if you can do that for me, I'd greatly appreciate it.
He's to the east, right.
There were 3 articles that came up. One of those was number 18.
That, yes, that we decided to waive, right. And you want to hear what 18 is?
Well, I want to understand, it says location of trees on site, outlines of wooded and open areas, and all natural features or site elements. Okay. I understand the trees, I understand the outline of wooded areas, but what site elements are you talking about? What is that? Pre-existing site elements, obviously, so what are they?
Well, I'm not sure.
Well, you guys wrote it.
No, we didn't.
I'm not sure either, that's why my question's here. And existing or proposed with the indication of which natural feature site elements are to be preserved. Now, the wording in this, okay, I question, okay, because the one thing that comes to mind is stone walls. Okay, and to me, the whole border of that is stone walls. And if you were a surveyor setting up on transit and you shot a line, it would be straight. There isn't a stone wall in this state that's straight. Okay? So I mean, my question is there, and you know, I would like you to give me an answer to that.
So it's just that they need to be marked, is that correct? On the plat.
Right.
So it's a feature that we're asking to be marked on the plat.
What was that again?
It's a feature that the planning commission asks the surveyor to mark on the plat. So just like the trees and whatever else, I can't remember what else was indicated, the wooded area. We felt that if the plat were sufficient in size, that in sufficient detail, it wasn't necessarily worth the burden of having them record all of the trees and other wooded areas on here. We also waive, I mean, since that's all one item, we waive all of those physical features. Is that correct?
Natural features.
Natural features.
Well, then is that to say that?
Stone walls, are technically, I don't think natural features.
Well, that's what I mean. It would be a site element, I would think, right? No, go ahead.
The problem is that not only this planning commission, but our predecessors inherited this. I don't think it was drawn by the town. I think it was something that was provided from God knows who. And it doesn't fit all subdivisions, and that's why we're given the right to waive such requirements as we think are burdensome on the citizens of the town. And it's not as precise as we might like it. There are things in it that several of us have found questionable, but it's just one of those things that's been here, and it gives us some latitude, frankly, to help.
Well, let me put it this way. Like I said, none of them are straight. You put a transit on, you ran a line down, it's not going to be straight. You're going to have a note. You want me to finish, or did you want to say?
Go ahead.
Okay. But the problem I had on my property across the street, and it was a member of the planning commission at the time, decided to remove all the fences on top of the stone walls. And he decided, because he was a member of the planning commission, that he owned the stone walls, which wasn't the case at all. All right, and I was responsible for putting up 200 feet of electric fence at my expense to replace what he destroyed. All right, so it is important, and it's, if you want to use stone walls as a boundary, then, and where no one can touch them after both parties agree on it, it might be a good idea.
I don't believe that was what I was trying to answer. I don't believe that the stone walls are used as boundary lines. In fact, that came up at the last planning commission meeting, where there was a misinterpretation of what the boundary line was. And I made an observation that the boundary line was in fact not the stone wall, but that it was different. So the stone walls should not be used as boundary lines. And that was one of the items that we raised last time. So preserving the features, if they're there as, we'll call them decorative, is not something that we felt was necessary to maintain in approving the subdivision.
Listen, I don't have any problems with this subdivision. I'm looking at the article itself.
Right.
They got my blessing on this.
Yep.
Okay, I'm asking for future as to an explanation for it, that's all.
So there are two things. One, the article on there indicates that those should be present on the plat, just as a historical record, but not that they are defining features for the property line itself. Is that correct?
I don't know your background, but I'm a farmer and a mechanic. You could be a surveyor, you could be
I'm an educator.
an engineer, whatever. But I don't see, I've never seen too many stone walls that, in this state, that there were always boundaries. They may, like I said, there might be a stake on one side of them or another, but they were used as a boundary for something in most cases when properties were split up, old oak trees, all kinds of stuff.
Right. But what we're saying is that when a plat comes before us or a request comes before us, that the survey that needs to be done regardless of what the physical features are to be able to determine the actual property line.
I think what we need to do is to look into this number 18 a little bit more to see if it even includes stone walls.
I would like that. I mean, this is why I'm bringing it before you. Because I had a problem with this in the past, and what happened, the property got sold
Okay.
5 years ago, 6 years ago, and my cows were out, because the agreement that we had was a personal agreement between us where he would keep the fence electrified. And when he sold the property, it never been re-electrified. The people didn't know anything about it, and I wound up going through the expense of replacing the fence that was taken down.
Because it was now considered on your property.
What's that?
Because it was then considered on your property.
Well, he decided that he owned the stone wall. And again, there was the wall went like this, and property markers were here, there, and everywhere. But my question is, what site elements?
Yep.
Okay, going back to that. So I mean, why don't you proceed with what you have, and if you decide to take this up again, I'd like you to let me know. I mean,
Okay.
and you know, just for my information, I think maybe this could be brought out a little better and clearer.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Did you have the fence viewer in town?
Yeah, that's the most ridiculous thing in the world, because they don't make a decision and have no right to make a decision.
Yeah, but
That helped get this thing moving along, because the other thing, I would have either had to bring legal action or do what I eventually wound up doing.
well, sometimes it ends up that way, but the fence viewer, if they do their job right, will adjudicate the differences.
I don't know, Jim.
Hopefully to the satisfaction of the parties involved, but there are cases where that doesn't happen.
So, any other comments?
Is this a separate issue from the subdivision? What he's talking about?
It will not hold up the subdivision.
So it's a separate,
It's a question related to the waiver that we actually,
And the list of things we look at when we decide on subdivisions, it's really not pertinent in this case.
right, so we kind of got off the track. We started on the subdivision, and then we took a turn
Well,
to
there's a whole
Article
list of
18.
things that need to be done to get a subdivision.
and it was a question on one of those, yeah.
Okay.
It's one of the things we said.
That's why I'm saying, let's move on with it, if you heard me say that, but I don't think it's clear, that's all.
So Rob, these parcels were subdivided previously, but not recorded with the town. And this will take care of that, plus what else will this do?
What this does basically, it will make legal and formal the subdivision that was done in fact from the decrees of distribution. There was a decree of distribution, there was a partition action, and then in the partition action, unfortunately, the manner in which the partition action was decided, there was a settlement between the parties that laid this out in such a fashion that the parties quitclaimed two sections of property based on a boundary line to one another, and what the settlement was put into the partition action, and the partition action was dismissed, as opposed to the court adopting the settlement that was done in issuing a partition order. And I'd spoken with Kevin Brown about that as to the best way to deal with the land records for future people coming along and trying to certify title to these particular pieces of property. And the agreement that the consensus that we reached really was that what we would do is go back and go through this body in order to get a proper town subdivision permit, a proper boundary line adjustment, and then go through the state of Vermont. That was not Kevin's issue, but once Dan Ewald represents the purchasers, the potential purchasers of this property. So Dan Ewald, Ray Page, and I determined that the best and most practical way to deal with it and the most safe way to deal with it so that anyone buying a piece of this property is going to have good marketable title that's insurable by a title insurance company is to go through the state of Vermont, work through that and get all the permits in place so that 10 years down the road, someone walking into the land records is going to be able to see that there is a consistent marketable title. That's our whole goal in doing this, quite honestly.
We're thinking we approve the subdivision first before the boundary line adjustment?
I think that it was the boundary line adjustment actually comes before the subdivision because once we do the boundary line adjustment, we're only dealing with 2 parcels at that point in time. The primary residence that Pat has, by doing that boundary line adjustment, that becomes 1 parcel as opposed to 1 parcel, a second parcel, a third parcel, and a fourth parcel. So with the boundary line adjustment, we are now really dealing with 1 property that is pre-existing and then 2 pieces of property that need the subdivision to be formalized.
So in a sense, you're molding 3 parcels into 1.
Actually, in a sense, we are doing 4 into 2 because 1 was pre-existing and didn't require subdivision.
Which one was
So
that?
that would be the one that Pat owns. If I could I approach one with this?
We're not a bench.
My,
No, but
this magic marker has become the best tool in my briefcase. Basically, that is Pat's, and that's the boundary line that was adjusted. So that basically becomes that's her home residence, and we just put on that additional acreage to it. If we had not done that,
this is the additional acreage, right?
this,
Now what, this is her home
yeah, but we moved the boundary.
from here to over there.
No, this is the original one. It's not there. I took the picture last time. so preserve it. That orange part was the previous one.
Right.
The orange part went down here and then went up that way.
I'm sorry,
Okay, the orange part, on here, mine is orange. It starts up here, which is this corresponding part.
Mhm, yeah.
It came down here,
Mhm.
okay, and then it went up here, and then it went over to here and up there.
Okay,
So that is now being incorporated
okay,
into
all right.
this part here is being incorporated. So it used to look like that. This looked like a rectangle, and then you had this little triangle over here. That's now been incorporated into
Oh, it's
his.
a little triangle, okay.
It looks like
It's okay.
it went like this, and this originally.
Okay, so this was 1, this was 2.
No, this was incorporated into that previously.
He said 4 parcels, that's what I'm trying to identify. Which were the 4 and now which are the 2?
1, 2.
This is 4. Okay.
That was separate. I thought that was part of this previously.
That's where that was quickly over to 2 out of water.
But I know what this one is.
Originally, yes.
This is B, and that's the one we're actually doing the boundary of the
Subdivision.
subdivision. on.
Yes.
But I thought that this part here was just part of A,
That is correct.
and now it's part of C. So there were only 3 parts originally, not 4.
Yes, you're right, and it would be 3, and if we didn't do the boundary line adjustment, it would end up being 4.
It would end up being 4,
That's
if that
correct.
were it left correct.
Yeah.
So this was 1, well, this was 1, this was the original one. This came out of it, so that's 2. And then this one over here is 3. It's just changing the boundary line to move this parcel from the yellow to the pink.
Right.
So that's the 3.
And that's the boundary line adjustment, and this is the subdivision.
Correct.
Okay.
And I agree with Henry going along.
Thank you. Done that. Yes, you have.
Let's move along. Rob, what did you say to the permits that were still outstanding were?
The permit is going to be the state of Vermont subdivision permit.
And we asked for the acreages, and we asked for the structures to be put on.
And they're on the plat, I believe, yes.
Yeah.
This was.
Did we have a question about the gravel drive? For the, that would be for the boundary line adjustment, I think.
We had a right-of-way question.
I believe that what
The
the
subdivision.
planning commission had asked for before was that the easements of the rights of way be depicted on the survey, which they have been done.
Right, and the gravel drive is fine, and it's going to service
Yes.
everyone that's
Yes.
going to be in.
But there has to be an easement to get to parcel A. Because parcel A would be locked
Right,
if there's no easement.
which we have now. The thing, there is one thing with the right-of-way now, it's legally, it's Rob Shawn
Place.
Place, so we'll have to get that changed.
Well,
In
Rob,
the final plat.
It says Rob Shawn Drive.
but that's, Rob Shawn is what accesses that goes back in. I thought that what you were talking about was this right-of-way that is shown on it, that comes off from Rob Shawn, actually. Rob Shawn goes out and exits out onto Post Road.
Right, it's all place.
Right, it's the name of it. It's not a drive, it's a place.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
I will
it's-
have Ray change
It's a
that.
private road, that's why.
Yep, sorry about that.
Yep.
And the reason, just so you're clear, if I'm not mistaken, Bill, is that for town purposes, if it's not a town road, then it can't be a drive. It's got
Got
to
it.
be.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So let's take up the boundary line adjustment.
Does that take care of the gravel drive? There's no right of way indicated here, so is that not
That's my question.
a question?
What do you remember being the issue with the gravel drive?
Well, whether or not there will be right of way, is there right of way required? Is it understood that the gravel drive ends at the property line for parcel B? Or under, you know, once the,
Because that gravel drive starts at parcel A, crosses parcel B, and then goes down to Rockland.
so it goes from parcel B and back into parcel A?
Is the easement indicated?
Yes.
That is what I believe is depicted on the map.
It doesn't have to be.
Norm?
Rob, is the gravel drive memorialized in the easement across parcel B for the benefit of parcel A?
It is going to be when the property is conveyed, that will be in the deed of conveyance. That will go when the property is conveyed to the potential purchaser. So that they have the access down to the barn area is what you're referring to.
I think for our purposes of clarity, number one, our subdivision permit, if we grant it, should contain a requirement that there is a recorded easement across parcel B for the benefit of parcel A when sold, when it is sold, and that we get a copy of it.
Will do.
That way, no offense, man, we have some sort of.
Absolutely. Sir?
So, the boundary line adjustment. Any other questions on that? Do we have a motion with any conditions?
Is this boundary line adjustment for, we Patricia Young property. Is that before the district commission at all?
That will not be before the district commission, I do not believe.
Act 250.
I'm sorry, before the
District
David
Commission.
Swift.
Pardon me, before David Swift. I don't believe that that will be the case because we're getting the permits rather than a boundary line adjustment on it. So I think that will take care of
That
itself.
will be part of the subdivision permit that you're
Yes.
getting?
I believe so.
And you're just getting a boundary line adjustment for us?
That is correct. And I should say that Ray Page is working with David Swift in providing him with data at the present time. So the final determination really hasn't been made on that. But certainly if it includes the boundary line adjustment, we would provide a copy of that to the planning commission.
I'll make a motion to approve the boundary line adjustment between parcels A and parcel C on the plat for Patricia.
No portion C or...
Parcel C is up here, Norm. It's where the up to your right hand over a little bit, right there. It's marked as C,
Okay.
I believe.
Yep, thank you.
Was that not parcel C?
No, it is, it's parcel C.
Okay.
It's confusing.
As indicated on the plat, which the reference
I'm sorry, where's parcel C at?
it's up here.
It's moving, which one are you considering C, this?
Yes,
Okay,
this is A, this is C,
okay.
and boundary line adjustment is going from what it was over here
Yep.
to over, now over here. Okay, it's only two
Yep.
parcels. Okay?
BLA number is 307.
Okay, BLA number 307.
Would you repeat that?
Make a motion to approve a boundary line adjustment between parcels A and C of the Patricia M. Young property.
Hold on, contingent on the state.
Sure. Contingent upon
I'll second.
obtaining of the permit.
Okay, subdivision.
No, that's a separate issue.
Okay.
If you continue, that's why I wasn't sure that applied, because this is the subdivision that was contingent upon the subdivision part, is that correct? This doesn't have anything to do with that, we're taking this separately.
Sure.
We should be able to do, splitting these, A and C, actually, this is the second. C, I called it C, so that's. I'll reference the book and page number, how's that? Rather than A and C, because there is no C. I just realized.
There is a C.
That's a different C, that's not the C, that's not partial number.
That's,
It's an iron,
This way. Any points?
it's an iron.
would you like to?
I'll amend my own motion, so I'll make a motion to approve the boundary line adjustment between parcel A, book 201, page 69, and book 95, page 485. Include this one as well. And book 201, page 69. So that the boundary line will now include references to book 95 at page 485 and book 201 at page 69 as one parcel, separate from parcel A, book 201 at page 69.
That's very clear.
Second.
I will second, yeah.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, adjustment. Now on to the minor subdivision, which is pulling B. Refresh our memories, Rob.
Which would be parcel A and parcel B.
So I'm going to try a motion, and that doesn't need a second at the moment. But my motion would be to approve a minor subdivision from parcel A, book 201 at page 69, separating parcel B at book 193 at page 327 from parcel A. Conditioned upon state approval of the subdivision, of this subdivision.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Excuse me?
He's second, no, I'm
Yes.
second.
Okay, ready for the vote? All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you very much.
So the Mylar, we can do in 90 days.
And that needs to be corrected.
And then the Robshan Drive to place. Anything else, Bill?
That's all.
We need to take official action and make a motion that is contingent
I
upon.
said the sign already says place on,
Yeah, we just need it
It's on
on,
the flat tab.
yeah.
Yeah, so we'll change that.
Oh, okay. I think we're good,
Thank you very much.
yeah. And you want us to call you back in when we get in
Just-
there?
You know the name. You want the numbers? I can give you my phone number, give me a call.
Okay.
You're looking for clarification of the definition
Yeah, let's
of what.
get it so we can understand it, you know, that's all it is.
So it's a clarification of what?
Site element.
Site elements.
Yeah,
We need to find that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
You still turn right left or what, buddy?
Yes, I
You still up there?
Slowly.
Okay, we'll
Yeah, good seeing you.
call the hearing
Oscar Drive.
on the subdivision.
That's where I first met you. Good luck with everything. Oh, yeah, it'll be great. Where does and drops down a certain property down I saw the tape down there. You know, they got the definition and stuff. I get one thing off your chest. It's good to see you once. Yes, and I just wanted to clarify that. Was that one? Good to see you, Rob.
Good seeing you.
I was up there, so forward. You did try to excuse that. Yeah. Well, I can't believe it, honestly. Most of it was done, so just made that close. And the string of the past are getting more, and I go back to see it. Thanks, guys.
Good to see you all. Thank you. And this is state. In case we forget which where.
Okay.
Are you plugging these, Bill?
I can later, it's fine. I only need one good one, so.
Okay, let's continue on and approve the agenda that doesn't have much else on it this evening.
Should be easy.
It should be. So,
Move to approve the agenda.
thank you.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I think we're done with public comment tonight. New business, I think, the fact that the Regional Planning Commission gave the Rutland Town Enhanced Energy Plan a certificate of energy compliance is for everything. So that happened on November 19th. So that plan is, will be able to get substantial deference if there is ever the chance or the opportunity that we need to take it to the PUC and take the project that far. So that's done.
Whoa,
So that was by the regional planning commission?
do we have that certificate?
Yes. Yeah, the town
Can we
has,
get a frame?
it was done by the, yes, instead of the state, the regional planning commissions
Provide me certificate.
make those decisions now.
That makes it official.
That makes it official, as official as it can get.
And now our town plan can be amended to now include the energy plan.
So
It
then it's already
was.
been amended.
That was,
But they changed, so, as I understood it, the select board changed some things from how it was presented to them. They were minor, but, you know.
They had their hearing.
yes, and that was what was adopted,
Yeah.
and that was what was sent to the regional planning commission.
But we don't have, and I don't think on the website, is an updated version of the town plan that would now incorporate what the regional planning commission has approved.
Au contraire.
Au contraire, is there?
What was approved and what they amended and sent on to the regional level that was approved there is what's online. There's only one thing now online, that's the new one.
Okay.
Everything else is gone,
Under town plan,
right where it was before. Yep.
So the town plan was readopted, so that set the clock at 8 years again for it.
So the adoption date is now, whatever, October, November of 2019. You remember the adoption date?
November 19th, yeah.
What is it?
The board meeting?
When did I mean, is it the date that the regional planning commission accepted it?
No, that's-
That's why I'm saying, okay, because
No.
you said that it was November 19th with the regional planning commission.
Oh, right, it
So-
was October 15th.
That's what
Yeah.
That's right.
The one
The
that
town plan readopted October 15th, and now it has 8 years.
Yeah.
So we have until October 2027,
Yeah.
when we have to do it again.
that's when,
Unless we want to do it soon.
that's when the regional planning commission adopted, or is that? when the
No,
town?
the adoption date is when the select board
15th, right?
takes final action. The November 19th date was when it got the certificate of energy compliance.
For 8 years.
November 19th.
Yes, it's,
No. Until October 15th, 2027.
okay. We're all clear on that, right?
I'm on the spectrum. I have to have my numbers and values just right.
I do have a question. I mean, I'm done with that, something different. The question that Ed brought up, how do we pursue that? Or is one of us going to do it?
Yeah, I mean, it'll take some research. Probably this is something that came, you know, the list of things you go through for subdivision probably came from Vermont, because cities, towns, something like that. Some model language.
Yes.
If we're gonna look at it, I think there's some references, I think they come from that because it's got zoning references in it, and it sort of didn't come from here. So maybe it's time to take a look at that broader than you suggest. I don't know whether it's too much of a undertaking. The League of Cities and Towns have come out with something new that might make our job
think the first step is just to figure out what the definition is.
That's
of
the
site
first step.
elements.
Yeah.
If we delve much further than that, we're dealing with the bylaws, the stormwater, or not stormwater, the subdivision bylaws. And
I think we can just make, I think we can just make a clarification on the document that says what it is, without having to examine it.
yeah, I mean, maybe as a future project, we can
Well,
suggest.
let's take the first step and see where we go. Okay.
Yeah.
So why would you like
You don't have to vote.
do that research?
Well, if someone wants to volunteer,
I have a nomination. It's not me. Sorry. Good.
then we can ask. We're very willing, and accommodating.
I can bring that.
That wasn't my nomination. That's good.
Oh, was it?
No.
No, I didn't consider it. I don't think he hears you.
Well, that doesn't. That's why I tried to do it.
You have another idea.
I think Norman knows the most about it, and I would very much appreciate it if you could take on that little task, but I don't know if he's so inclined, but
I have to work with Bill.
absolutely.
Since I have overreaching ideas about it, maybe let somebody with a more circumspect view. If you're not willing.
Well, I'm just thinking that it's a definition, and I don't know how challenging it would be to come up with a definition. As a linguist,
Why don't I look at it with Bill, come back to some recommendations, and what
Just on that.
should we for you to handle this and move forward?
Sounds good?
so I'll let the record show that Bill and I want to collaborate on that to get us the definition. Sounds good.
Well, we'll look at the definition and see where it came from, and see if there's anything.
I think it's just a quick phone call to one of the attorneys
That's what I was hoping.
at VLCT.
Or to come up to Kevin.
No,
No.
no. I don't think it's worth that. I don't think, I'm not sure he knows the answer right offhand. I'm not sure it's worth the expense of
Okay,
it.
sure, makes sense. Let's go through the legal scene. I'll come over when you make a call.
So, anything else for this meeting? I know we put a number of things off until the next meeting. The guidelines,
Right.
being the US to see the budget.
Yes.
It's not very exciting, but we can look at that.
Well, that was only because we've talked about examining the budget and having at least a brief conversation and we haven't done it, so I figured that should be. And we don't have it for tonight, correct? We can't put it up tonight. We can't put it up tonight.
No, I've got some figures, I don't have them with me, but they're a couple weeks old. The draft town budget was done last week by the select board, and so we were level funded. And we're in great shape this year. I'll bring the latest figures at the next meeting, before the next meeting,
Can I ask another question?
you know?
Bill, will the next meeting be here or back at headquarters?
The anticipated is 2 weeks from this week that will be done. So hopefully, like January 6th or 7th, we'll be done.
It's real close.
So-
The
And
ninth.
I-
Yeah. So
Don't
by the time the agenda comes out, I'll know.
Bill, tell us what's being done.
At the office?
Yes.
Oh, all the furniture got taken out, all the carpet got taken out, the walls got taken down, the ceiling's being changed, everything, all around the office, all stuff. New carpet's going in Monday, the walls are done. Furniture's gonna get put in next week. Some painting's gotta get finished up, and then there's some marble work that's gonna be done in there, so there's still some things to do, but it's coming along.
Are the walls being reconfigured?
No, one part of the project was to check
Integrity?
or improve insulation in the walls as part of the project. We took down, they took down the outside walls and there was no insulation. So we now have, so things like that. So now instead of the wood paneling, it's sheetrock. There's all new counters, new desks, filing cabinets, researcher counter. There's, we upgraded the lighting. It looks wholly different than it was before. It's great.
But the layout's the same?
The layout, the counters moved a little farther toward the door than it was before. It's a little, it gives them more room behind it.
Okay.
But other than that, the layout is very, very similar, yeah.
And it's still open? Because
Oh, yeah.
there's some question.
Yep. Yep.
And the meeting room is just wide open like it was before.
The meeting room isn't changing,
The meeting,
but that's
meeting room
where,
is where the town clerk is.
right, they moved into the meeting room. So Kirsten and Susan are working out of the select board room right now. So that's full of what moved out of their office.
But those exterior walls have been insulated.
They aren't, there was nothing.
In the one in the meeting room?
Yeah, we're pretty sure there's probably no insulation in those walls either,
But
but.
that's not being done. right?
No, this is just the clerk's office.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that something that could be done after the fact now, blown in? or-
Probably, if it's,
Wow,
that's not gonna be a next year project, so,
yeah,
but,
right.
yeah. A lot of work.
Because that's pretty costly when you're doing that.
There's a lot of labor, and it's just, yeah.
Okay, the only thing we have left are minutes from the last time.
Move to approve the minutes of November 14th.
Is there a second?
That's it.
Okay, would you be willing to change a date on page 2, under announcements, number 1? The Regional Planning Commission took up the annual plan in November. Yeah, not December.
I didn't catch that. I gotta go finish it.
It's okay.
You got that, okay? Anything else? Okay, all those in favor of approving the minutes?
As amended.
That's correct.
As corrected? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, anything else? Andy, will you be here this winter, or? Okay. This is
I
your
will be
last?
attending. Well, it depends, I will probably be here, what's our next meeting, January
Ninth.
9th? Probably be here,
Will you be here for
Probably
that?
almost sure.
That we will.
And after that?
After that, we're gonna do it
modify-
electronically, absolutely. Well, we have better Wi-Fi now, right, Bill? Far better, so I think that was the problem that we had here.
So it was on our end? I
Could
guess?
be, but if, well, this one, we know it's better here.
Right.
If it fails, then I'm gonna do an upgrade down in Florida. I can upgrade mine, but we're gonna make it work.
So, yeah, the next meeting's tonight. We don't know where it's going to be, so just pay attention to the email that goes out with the agenda. We should know by then. Or maybe not.
We're,
Maybe we should just,
well, taxes are due the 10th, so we are really making it an effort to get back in that office, because we don't, those are a couple of very busy days.
yeah.
We don't wanna, we wanna be back in there before that, so it's,
And the workers are okay working right through this time of year.
well, we're gonna be in the office every day but Wednesday next week, so they're gonna come and work, they're gonna be there, so we'll provide them the opportunity to be there, so it's up to them to come in and do it.
But this is a fine meeting facility here, too.
I don't mind it at all.
No one has much.
It's a little more work for Bill to get stuff down here, and Peg, TV has to woman up the equipment.
I've got
And we have to speak up about
surgery coming up in January sometime. They think, we'll find out Monday exactly what
Good luck with that, Jim. That could get a little bit involved. That could get involved a little bit more.
It could, but they aren't predicting
Good. And we haven't done anything for Howard. And he's still convalescing at home after surgery. I did not get a card out to him. Does the group want to still send him, how much longer do you think, does he think he'll?
I'm not sure. Marcia said he's doing okay, but he's still recovering, so
Yeah.
it sounds like it's gonna be a couple more weeks at least.
So they get money to send to flowers? Just recent card?
When we do have money, it might be a little bit late for the flowers. We could send him a Christmas, holiday arrangement.
A basket was sent from town hall in general to him early on, so it didn't get passed. He did get a basket from everybody, so it was food, not flowers.
That's good.
Yeah, it's in candy or
Yeah.
some combination of goodies rather than flowers.
If we got a card, we could sign it at your office, right?
Excuse me. I didn't mean to interrupt. I talked to Lloyd on the phone a couple of weeks ago, and he's in very good spirits, coming along well. He says according to the plan that the doctors had assumed that he would be at. He is, and a little bit ahead, I guess.
Oh, good.
But he's in very good spirits. Looking forward to getting back to some sense of normality.
Okay, yeah, we can send him some candy. And maybe just one card. I mean, it's gonna be really hard to get people anything. It's not an office very much.
What's that?
I'm not gonna be in the office very much from here on out, so.
Maybe we can get a card to Bill, and you can send it on behalf of the planning commission.
Swear all have to sign.
Right,
Or I can just send what they put with candy.
whatever you want.
Okay. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, yeah. He's a candy guy, right? Candy man? Okay. Anything else?